minutes.
Here we go. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope everybody has their tool belts on so you can put us right there in it.
Right
there in it. When you can't catch us live, you can catch us later from your tool belt. So make sure you do that and subscribe to our podcast. Do that all the time. And then visit 4patriots.com/chicks and see this week's discounts and deals. Because today's Cyber Monday. There's all sorts of stuff going on. But you can check out this week's discounts and deals before they're gone and receive free shipping on orders over $97. 4patriots.com/chicks. Happy Monday, everybody. We are back. We're back.
And we have a pretty sunrise behind
Look
you.
At that. It's right there. There it
I
is.
hope everybody had the very, very bestest Thanksgiving ever.
So good. We match again. We didn't even plan it. We match again.
Well,
People are saying we
black.
Match. Is it? Mine's like a navy. Okay, well, we sort of match. Yeah. It's been a morning already, you guys.
Oh, it has already been a morning. So fighting with Facebook.
I mean, back in the swing of things.
Can I just tell you a moment of personal privilege, if I may? When I checked into my hotel in Tucson, I got checked in by a very, very, very large woman. Okay. And I'm using the word woman on purpose for reasons that you will understand in a minute. This woman had ginormous boobs, and they were swinging low. They were, you know what I mean? They were humongous boobs swinging low, around waist
Sweet
level.
chariot. Yep. Right. Got it.
And then she had those dragon lady, super long nails.
Right.
Painted blue with all kinds of crystals on them.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Super butch short haircut, not a stitch of makeup. And the name tag that said Orion, he, him.
What?
That was my face. That was my exact face. I was
you were like, wait, what?
I'm sorry. I'm not computing what is happening right
What's
there.
What's up with the nails? What's up with the nails and the giant boobs?
And what?
You got to work a little harder there, Orion. You got to work a little harder than that. Okay.
It was so weird, but that's Tucson. It's so
it is weird. It's like Austin. They keep it weird out there, man.
But I also felt like at no time am I going to need to refer to you in the third person.
Right.
So why are you telling me that?
I'm never going to call you a him or a he ever.
Right.
I'm probably just going to go, hey, Orion.
Orion. Yeah.
Orion.
I mean, it was just so stupid. And so, I mean, at that point, if you're going to do the dragon lady nails, you're going to have your giant boobs and then
hair.
and then you're going to have boyish hair and no makeup. What are you doing? Except saying
you're half-assing it.
All the attention.
So much attention. You're half-assing it. Work harder.
I mean, just come on.
I know. I mean, at least Caitlin goes all the way.
Yeah.
That's full on.
What do they call that? Passing, or at least attempting to pass.
She does it she goes full bore. She goes all the way. Credit where credit is due, man. Man. Right.
Anyway, that was an experience, I must say. Alexandra, thank you. Alexandra says, good morning. I've missed you so much. We missed you guys too.
We missed you too.
And Eugene missed us. Eugene, thank you. Eugene says, good morning, dear ladies. Missed you so much. Glad to have you back.
You guys
we are glad to be back as well.
Who gained 5 pounds last week? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Pie. So much pie, you guys.
So many delicious things. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There was a lot of eating going on.
Oh my God.
I hope everybody had a really fantastic time.
Good times.
It was good times in Tucson with the family. So fast. It went by.
Oh my God. Right? I know our kids they drove from California.
That's crazy.
Drove.
Straight. They didn't even stop.
This is to be young again, right? This is what young people do. Crazy.
I don't even know
Drove from
how.
California. And then they came to Texas and they were like, we want to move here. Like, we're so sick of California. Because he was our son was filling up his car with gas. And he was like, oh my God, diesel is so cheap here. And he was like, we're going to move here. So they're trying to figure out how to move here again. And then they drove back. Crazy.
God. And they drove straight through back too?
Drove straight through back. Took them like literally a whole day to do that. Insane, you guys.
Crazy.
I know I'd never do that. I'm too freaking old to do that. There's no way. God.
And you guys, if you're insiders or supporters, you would have seen pictures of our various Thanksgiving happenings, including last night. I forgot that I had taken this cute picture of the birds, and so I posted it for insiders and supporters. It's just I have the cutest parents in the
really
entire world.
They are so cute, and I'm still waiting on the adoption papers to go through. They need to sign them. Uh-huh. They really do.
So anyway, if you aren't a supporter or insider, you're missing out on the cutest parents in history. You should probably join just for that reason, for real.
True.
I know we've got several things to talk about, obviously, because we've been gone for a whole week. So we've got several things to get to, but we also have several deals to talk about with you, including if you're looking for something fancy for yourself or for someone you love for Christmas, there is nothing better than a set of amazingly luxurious, soft, like you would not believe, soft as a cloud sheets from CozyEarth.com. So right now they've got this guarantee, because you hear it a lot. You hear a lot of different companies say, we have the softest sheets, we have the best sheets, we have the best, most thermo-regulating sheets. Everybody says it, but who else has a 100-night guarantee behind it? I ask you. They don't, except for Cozy Earth. That's how sure they are that you are going to fall in love with their made with viscose from bamboo sheets. They are amazing. And you have 100 nights to try them and fall in love, or you get your money back, no questions asked. Right now, when you use promo code CHICKS40, Chicks40, you're going to get 40% off of these amazing sheets. So stock up now, because that sale is not going to last past the holidays, and you want to take advantage. You are going to sleep better than you ever have. You are going to feel more comfy, cozy than you ever have. This is like your high-end luxury Christmas gift for yourself or someone you love. CozyEarth.com, and make sure to use promo code CHICKS40. All right. Let's look at that, Troy.
I saw Troy too. Yeah.
I got to hang out with your sister a week ago at the induction ceremony for the Bad News Blues Band in the Tucson Musicians Museum. She is just as cool as you are, as is her husband. That's so cool, Troy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Really cool. Yep.
I do have a cool sister. My whole family
very,
is
very
really
cool sister. Sure. Yeah. Her family's the best, like the most well-adjusted, awesome family. Yeah. There's just no dysfunction in her family. It's a crazy thing, you guys.
I mean, there's dysfunction in the extended part.
Right. But her family is like, oh my God, I just love her family. And I'm waiting to be adopted. What is the deal? What is the holdup?
There was a lot of hullabaloo about Dolly Parton's halftime performance at the Cowboys Commanders game. And I did not see this I did not see her halftime show in person. I watched it after the fact, but I saw all the pictures going around. And if you guys missed it, this is what the queen, the legend, the incomparable Dolly Parton, she wore a freaking Dallas Cowboys cheerleader uniform, and she rocked it.
77. She's 77 years old, you guys.
I mean, and people are mad about this. There are people saying this is inappropriate.
Those are the people those are the people who can't wear it.
Oh my God.
Honestly, let's get real.
If I could look like that in a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader outfit, I would wear this every single day.
I mean, seriously, that's the thing. People are pissed off because they can't do it. That's why.
I can't believe that there's anyone that is taking issue with this at all. This was amazing. The performance was amazing. She sang Jolene. She sang like We Are the Champions. It was incredible. The whole thing was absolutely incredible.
I love her. She's the best.
I know.
Is seriously the best. I love that quote from her where she's like, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap, honey. My favorite.
The way that she laughs at herself, I love her so much.
Right.
Stuart the Brit, thank you. He says, just remember, my
Stuart.
family evolved from turkeys, apparently. Y'all owe me. Where's mommy? Stuart, we got some questions for you later in the show.
We really do. About your media, the BBC, Sky News.
We got some problems over there with the UK media.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. We also need to mention that Derek Chauvin got shivved in prison. So he got totally shanked. He's going to be okay, I guess, but he got stabbed after he got moved from like a super max security prison to like a medium level security prison. And this is just very coincidentally at the same time as he's requesting a retrial. Now that we know that George Floyd did not die because of the actions of Derek Chauvin. And so the timing is very, like, can prisons not just keep an eye on the people that they imprison? You know what I mean?
No, they can't. They cannot.
It's not okay.
That's the answer.
That's just not okay. And then I guess we should mention too that Roger Stone is getting a lot of heat on Twitter right now because he called Casey DeSantis, apropos of nothing, he called her the C word, only he said it in the like see you next Tuesday way.
Which is supposed to be better. That's supposed to be like, that makes it so he doesn't say it. Like, I didn't say it. Really,
he's trying to say, I never said that. I just said see you next Tuesday, like without meaning anything by it. Okay.
Why?
The people,
but why?
Him and Loomer, man. Psycho.
But why did he say it? Like, why is she that word? Does he have an explanation?
He said it in response to somebody else tweeting out mean things about her.
And so he's like, so he piled on. So he piled on and he's like, she's the C word.
Right.
Okay. Why are we the way that we are?
Like, what has she done? And the reason that he was like mad at her, I guess, is because whoever he was responding to was saying that they were sick and tired of the fact that she always mentions her kids and she always says, I have a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, whatever the ages are. I don't know what the ages are offhand, but she always says that I'm the mom of a this-year-old, this-year-old, and this-year-old. And she says it in many of her speeches. And apparently that is hugely problematic.
That triggered him.
And so that she deserves to be called the C word for that.
Okay. All right. That really makes him look like good, that really elevates you, Roger.
Right?
Good going.
So dumb. Tony McCombie, thank you so much. She says, happy filing day to all the conservatives in Illinois who are stepping up to run for office. Thanks, girls, for being an inspiration to so many to get involved. Let's go. Let's go indeed. Thank you for that. And Tom J, thank you. Tom says, this is what Madonna thinks she looks like. Dolly. Yeah, Madonna could only wish to look that good. She doesn't hold a candle.
Yeah, Madonna may want to call Dolly's surgeon. It may be a little too late.
Yeah, I don't know that there's fixing that. Exactly. And since we've been gone a week, we are rewinding a little bit on some of these videos. In fact, we have to rewind to show everybody what happened on Thanksgiving when Joe Biden tried to pardon the turkeys. Liberty and Bell were the turkeys that he was pardoning. But whenever he goes off script, you know it's bad. There's always going to be trouble when he goes off script. And apparently he is under the impression that Britney Spears is on tour and that she's touring in Brazil, when in fact it was Taylor Swift that he was thinking of. But of course, you can't expect him to not mess up something when he goes off script. Here he is.
Just to get here, Liberty and Bell had to beat some tough odds in competition. They had to work hard to show patience and be willing to travel over 1,000 miles. You could say even this harder than getting a ticket to the Renaissance tour or Britney's tour. She's down it's kind of warm in Brazil right now.
Oh my God. No, they're not the same person. Oh my God. Britney is like our age. You know what I mean? He just has no idea what's going on or who is who.
He shouldn't pretend or try.
He just shouldn't talk. The guy should not talk. And then speaking of Taylor Swift, you guys heard about there was that girl that passed away at her concert.
It was
which is-
138 degrees out. Fahrenheit.
completely tragic. And then this morning I saw in the Daily Mail that she just invited her family to her concert.
And they went happily.
I don't understand that. That had to be some sort of a PR thing. She must have paid them or something. How does that make things better? Like, what is that? Is that like, is it just me, or is that the most narcissistic thing ever? Like, okay, so your daughter dies at my concert. I'm going to invite you to my concert to make things better. What is that? Am I the only person?
What else should she have done, or could she have done, really?
Something that's private and not that. I just think that that's so unbelievably narcissistic. Maybe I'm probably the only person that feels that way because we're living in 2023 and everything is narcissistic. But I think that is just so not okay. I just think that was I'm okay. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I just think it's so weird.
Well, I guess it would be weirder. I mean, the fact that they went and they seemed to be happy about it, I guess makes it okay. You know what I mean? Because they did seem pretty happy to be photographed with her and backstage.
That's just
and all
so
that stuff.
freaking bizarre, you guys. It's so weird to me.
I mean,
their daughter died at her concert.
Yeah.
And then they're like delighted to go.
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, it wasn't Taylor's fault. The venue did not let people bring in their own water.
I know.
Which is freaking crazy. And so I think she just did the only thing she knows how to do, which is what she does.
Which is like dance and sing. And everything's so weird, you guys. And don't you think they'd still be grieving?
Yeah, I definitely do think that they would.
Don't you think? Okay. All right. I just needed
to me, it's weirder that they went. Like, I imagine for example, if I died at a Robbie Williams concert and Robbie felt super bad about it and invited my husband and son to a concert, they would not go.
This is the thing. But I mean,
it's weirder for the family to go.
And it's weird for him to invite, but it's weird for him to even invite them to go. Like, hey, come rock out at my concert right after mom died. It's freaking weird, Mock. It's weird. All of it's weird.
It's weird all the way around.
All of it is weird. Oh my God. Yeah.
Anyway, back to Biden. So as we know, Biden is still, for all we know, running for his second term. And we know that Representative Dean Phillips, a Democrat, is running against him. Dean now apparently wants company. And so here is what he is saying to his fellow Democrats.
I'll do it publicly right now. To all who believe that we need to do better, who all believe we need change, and who recognize that the polls are saying that President Biden is going to lose to Donald Trump, enter the race, just like I did. The water is warm. Vice President Harris, anybody, Governor Whitmer, Governor Pritzker, Governor Newsom, all the people who are kind of circling like vultures right now, right? Join the race. That's what you do in democracy. And most of all, I can tell you, having gone through the nonsense and the misery of actually simply doing what you do in democracy, it's actually joyful. It's amazing. And the country needs us now, not in 2028, because if Donald Trump wins, Abby, there will not be a 2028.
Oh my God.
Let's not get
such
crazy.
Hyperbole. It's just so ridiculous. Let's not be dramatic, dude. Okay, so is this guy bait? Is that what he is? Or like dangling him and he's like bait and he's like, come on. Some other schmuck run with me. Come on, let's do this together. Because I really don't want to do it, but I'm running and they put me here. I'm bait. And then come on, Newsom, like come run and let's just like it's a dog and pony show. They're putting me here, and then you just step in, greasy weasel man, and let's do this. Because it really needs to be him, right? Like they need to make it so it's just like this big show, like a dog and pony show, and then they're going to actually run him. But let's just put this guy in to make it look like we're going through the channels, the proper channels, right? Is that what they're doing?
I guess. I don't, everything is so dumb right now in the election. I can't remember if it was Politico or The Hill. It was one of these outlets that did a whole article, and the headline read, "What will happen if Trump dies before the election?" And the whole thing was like laying out, here's what will happen if Trump dies before the primaries. Here's what will happen if Trump dies between the primaries and the convention. Here's what will happen if he is the nominee, but then he dies before the election. Like, it was so weird that they had this whole article about what happens if Trump dies when it's Biden who is like at death's door.
Right.
I was like, what is even happening? And some people actually took it as a call to action. Like, hey, if we could just get him to go away, you know what I mean? Then like here's all the maneuvering that we can do. It was really sick.
Well,
like it was absolutely sick.
They've been trying to get him to go away for years.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's literally been their charge to action, their call to action for so many years now. That's all they want is for Trump to go away, right?
It was super weird. Super weird, especially in light of the fact that he is younger than Biden, that Biden is the one that just had a birthday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was really bizarre.
And cognitively, Biden is he's done.
Yeah.
Put a fork in him.
Yeah. Exactly. Nancy King, thank you. Nancy says, if the Pilgrims had donkey for Thanksgiving, we'd all be having a piece of ass for the holidays.
I see what you did there.
Alexandra says, if you poke Biden, he'll most likely fall over and crumble like the statues that got destroyed during the BLM riots back in 2020. We better show up at the polls and elect a strong president.
Gosh, that is
doubt.
That's the most important thing, you guys, is showing up at the polls.
Yep.
Is showing up. We cannot stress that enough. Yeah.
Stuart the Brit, thank you. He says, your family wouldn't go to Robbie's concert because of cultural embarrassment, not because you died there.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I watched
dare
it.
You?
I watched that documentary over the holidays.
It's awful.
Because Mock, because of Mock. I do it because she's my best friend. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take one for the team. It was
awful. It was a terrible documentary.
Well, I mean, he's a troubled dude. And it was a really, really bad documentary. I don't recommend it. I mean, it was just kind of,
Yeah, don't watch it. Especially, I mean, if you have, for whatever reason, an inkling to learn more about him and you're on Netflix, just watch the Nebworth concert. That was amazing. Do not watch the documentary. It's terrible.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Anyway, you know how there's nobody that can say things like Kennedy. Like Senator Kennedy just sort of says things in a way that nobody else does. And I don't know why Martha's face, you can see Martha's face right there. It does not change even when he makes this funny, which I don't know how she contains herself because I would be rolling. But here is Senator Kennedy on the polls right now.
And read a poll. And the American people have concluded that President Biden is old and he needs soup and an early bedtime. And they have concluded that Vice President Harris is not capable, that when her IQ gets to 75, she should sell. Again, I'm not saying that's fair or accurate, but that's a conclusion today that the American people have reached.
Well, we certainly
pretty disgusting.
Yeah, we certainly see polls.
I don't know how she does that either.
I don't know.
I feel like I know he's so great. It's like, she's so straight-faced.
I
what
know.
Is her problem?
Maybe she's just like so used to his humor that like it doesn't faze her. But I love him every time.
I know.
This was an amazing moment that happened as well. I can't remember if this was before the ceasefire or after or when over these past several days this took place. But this sounds to me, now you guys may disagree, but this sounds to me like Joe Biden is trying to take credit for the Abraham Accords and for all of the work that Jared Kushner under Trump's administration made in the Middle East with respect to peace and treaties between Middle Eastern countries and Israel. It sounds an awful lot like he's taking credit. Listen.
I cannot prove what I'm about to say, but I believe one of the reasons why Hamas struck when they did was they knew that I was working very closely with the Saudis and others in the region to bring peace to the region by having recognition of Israel and Israel's right to exist.
God.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it? So I guess we can blame all of this, everything that we're going through right now, all the things that all those people, all the hostages, everybody that's been kidnapped, all the families, all the torment, everything, we can blame all of it on Biden.
I mean, if he's going to take credit for that, he's going to take the blame.
He's taking credit, so he might blame it all on him. And actually, moreover, blame it all on his predecessor, too. Blame it all on Obama. I mean, he literally just took credit for all of it. So take the blame, dude. Take the blame.
I just could not believe that he said that.
I
And he's
mean-
like, I can't prove it.
I mean,
Really?
I can't, right. Okay.
Oh my God.
Can you believe this guy? What a
so
piece
mad
of
when
work.
I saw that.
What a piece of work this guy is. Okay, well then you take the blame too if you take all the credit. Okay, all right. Well, there you go. There you have it, you guys.
Speaking of polls, Marie Harf was on with Shannon Bream and others to talk about how bad the polls are for Biden. And she actually made a point about Obama's polling being similar to Biden's when Obama was running against Mitt Romney, which I had forgotten about, and I actually thought that's probably a good point and one that we need to be aware of. So just because Biden's polls are in the tank, we should be absolutely on high alert that he could easily win re-election.
Marie, that's not good news for the White House.
I knew this was coming to me first this morning. Look, national polls a year out from an election, we should all take them with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Before you go further, what about the state head-to-head polls with Biden and Trump?
So a lot of those are pretty close still within the margin of error. I would remind people that President Obama, who I worked for in his re-election, had very similar polls against Mitt Romney at the same time. I do think that Democrats should take these polls with some caution, right, as a warning sign. They need to get out there. They need to make the case that we just heard Jared Bernstein making about the economic news that is impacting people every single day, about what a Joe Biden in second term would look like. They have some work to do, so they should take these as a warning sign. But I firmly believe that Donald Trump has a ceiling on the number of people that will vote for him. We see that in poll after poll. And every time Donald Trump has been at the top of the Republican Party since he won in 2016, Democrats have wildly overperformed. So Democrats sitting here today will say, we hope Donald Trump is the nominee because a Joe Biden, Donald Trump head-to-head is I think, pretty good for Democrats. I think they're probably a little nervous if it's Nikki Haley or someone else, but elections are choices. And I think Democrats are confident that Joe Biden is the only one that's ever beat Donald Trump and he can do it again.
Well, so you had the
Yikes.
Yeah, listen, I hate polls. I hate them. I just I don't like any of the polls because every time that we've looked at the polls, they've been wrong. I don't like them. It's like every time we've trusted them, you and I in 2012, we've looked at the poll. We're like, okay, let's look at the polls. And then we've been wrong. And then you and I have gotten really drunk. So I just cannot look at polls and take anything from them and be like sure about anything.
It's
so
hard to know. And then when you add in the third party and the no labels, I mean, it is anybody's guess.
I don't like them. I don't like them when Democrats rely on them. I don't like them when Trump relies on them. I don't like them when anybody relies on polls. So I'm out when it comes to these polls. I'm out, you guys.
It's just really hard to imagine what's going to happen. I don't even want to begin to try to predict because I just feel incapable of doing that. The polls are just, who knows?
They're crap. I think they're all crap.
And they don't actually show how people will vote. They show everybody literally is unhappy with Biden right now. But when you're in a polling booth and you're a Democrat, being unhappy with your guy is not going to make you vote for the other guy.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
And it's all about turnout. It's like you can be as unhappy as you want, and you can be as in the tank for Trump as you want. But if you don't get off your ass and go vote, none of it matters.
Right?
And we've seen that happen. We saw it happen in 2022. Everybody's just like, oh, it's going to be a red wave. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. But man, Republicans are lazy. They are lazy when it comes to going to the polls. So I will believe it when I see it. I will believe polls when I actually see people get off their butts and go.
Yeah.
You have to go. You have to get up and you have to go. So polls are useless to me. Useless.
There was a lot of hullabaloo over Kamala's Thanksgiving picture that she posted with her and her husband at home. And so here is, I think this is Morgan Ortegas talking about it.
They're like, all right, well, speaking of Thanksgiving, we couldn't help but notice Kamala's tweet about it. Here she is with second gentleman Doug in what appears to be their kitchen with her homemade cornbread. But what's that behind them? Is that a gas stove? Kamala, how could you? Don't you remember when the Biden administration suggested banning gas stoves?
They still are suggesting it.
Yeah. There were pictures on Twitter of them grilling on their gas grill too. I mean, they have people were just like going after them like crazy because it's rules
Good.
for thee, but not for
not
for Democrats, y'all, because they're above the rules, right? I mean, they're totally above them. Plus, I wonder if he got a kiss this year, like a Thanksgiving kiss from Joe Biden.
That's right. I forgot about that makeout session.
Remember the makeout session?
I really wish you didn't remind me of that.
That's all I think about. Every time I see him, I think of that. It's just so.
Shelly, thank you. Shelly says Biden plagiarized everything else. Why wouldn't he also steal the credit for the Abraham Accords that Jared Kushner had secured? He is such a twit. So glad to be back with my favorite group here. Yes, we are glad to be back as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of pictures that got sent out by this administration, the birthday cake picture that Biden put out with like a cake on fire because he turned 81 or 82. I don't even remember at this point how old he is. He shares a birthday with my son, which I just hate. So my son turned 18 on the day that Joe Biden turned 81. That's right, because I think their ages are reversed. Like the numbers are reversed. Yeah. And so if you guys didn't see it, it was this cake that had like, I think 81 candles and it just looked like a cake on fire.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
It's the point. Like, I don't even put candles on my cake anymore.
Yeah, you just get those numbers, like the actual number candles.
It just seems
because you don't want to set the whole house on fire.
Exactly.
So the folks on the 5 were talking about this, and Dana Perino was like, "This was like a terrible visual." And Jessica Tarlov tried really, really hard for reasons I cannot fathom to defend it. Here they are having a little spat about it.
To consider the fact that they put it up on Instagram and had a cute caption, right? About there's not enough space for all of my candles. It had over 1 million likes, well wishes for the president. You think that you're owning him by saying, oh, he's terribly lit. It looks like it's going to light on fire. Not one Democrat had a problem with that picture. Not one person.
I bet that's not true.
Right. Yeah. I know what picture
if you love Joe Biden, and I know there are many people that do, you want him to always be looked at. You want him to be looked at in the best light.
Sure.
And I would say, like yesterday, that picture was like, that's like not the best picture. It looked like the "This is fine" meme where the guy is sitting there and there's like everything is burning down all around him. That's what that conjured.
But there's a difference.
It doesn't matter if it's for me or not. It's a jumping off point to talk about.
But there's a difference between saying, is that the picture that I would have chosen? 100% no. And saying that this is
our point.
For a particular. No, it's not your point because you're saying it's a metaphor for how the White House is burning down, the world is on fire.
Yeah, when 71% of the Democrats I'm just too old. Okay, even Mika Brzezinski would say, you know what, you got to get rid of those sandbags. You think she liked that picture?
The sandbag was the advanced person's fault, and you guys even admitted the advanced
person's fault?
I like the picture of Trump with the taco bowl. That was a good meme. That was funny.
I mean, she just cannot admit it. She just won't. She'll never admit it.
But she kind of did, and then I don't think she liked realizing that she did.
No, she backtracked. She will, but she won't fully like admit. No, she did. She did. She said it out loud. She said the thing, and then she was like, "Oh no, I can't." But I can't admit it. I can't admit out loud. The guy is too freaking old, and Democrats hate it too. But they won't. And you know what? They'll still go to the polls and they'll still vote for him. They still will. You guys. That's the thing. That's the thing that's so disheartening. And it'll ruin our country. It already is ruining our country, but they still will pull the lever for this dementia-ridden old man.
Yep.
They don't care. Yeah.
There was also a clip. This is an old clip. This is a 2016, maybe even 2015 clip of Donald Trump on the campaign trail against Hillary. And he says things in this video that I am absolutely positive he regrets saying, given his circumstances today. Take a listen.
As you know, the FBI has reopened its criminal investigation into Hillary Clinton following the discovery of another 650,000 emails, probably including the 33,000 emails that Hillary destroyed after receiving a congressional subpoena. Folks, she shouldn't be allowed to run. Okay, she shouldn't.
There's more.
If she were to win this election, it would create an unprecedented constitutional crisis. In that situation, we could very well have a sitting president under felony indictment and ultimately a criminal trial. It would grind government to a halt. Of course, that's what we have right now under Obama anyway. We need a government that can work and work well from day one for the American people. That will be impossible with Hillary Clinton, the prime suspect in a massive, far-reaching criminal investigation. Her current scandals and controversies will continue throughout her presidency and will make it virtually impossible for her to govern or lead our country.
Yikes.
Okay, so people are saying, well, she actually did the things and he didn't. So, I mean, there's that.
Well, did he definitely not do the things?
I mean, I guess we'll find.
It seems pretty clear that he did have classified documents. So that trial hasn't even happened yet.
I mean, that's the thing. We'll find out. We'll totally find out. But I think here's the thing that bothers me is that I feel what bothers me is that he shouldn't have said those things. He just shouldn't have said them. He should have just left it alone and not said it at all. Because the fact that people can use clips like this against him bothers me. It bothers me because people will twist this stuff against him. And that irritates me. It just bothers me because they'll do whatever they can to twist this stuff and use it against him. And I hate that. I hate it because they're going to use it.
He's often his own worst enemy.
That's the thing is that they'll always use this crap against him. And people will be like, well, because somebody said apples to oranges. Okay. I mean, I get it. It's apples to oranges to me. It's apples to oranges to a lot of you. But it
doesn't change the fact that he is under criminal indictment, that he could be the first sitting president who is under criminal indictment. I mean, it doesn't change those basic facts.
Right. And so they will just use that against him. And so that's what drives me crazy. So sometimes I wish he would just focus on himself and not on, he is his own worst enemy sometimes. And I just wish he wouldn't have done some of the things that he did so they can twist this stuff and use it against him. I hate that because y'all know I like him. Y'all know I do. And I feel like we're going to be in a position where they're going to do that. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Well, he needs, and I think we all need, to support the balance of our happy. That's how they say it at Healthy Cell when they talk about one of their newest products called Calm Mood. So this is the stuff and again, this is like a gel pack, right? It looks like one of these, and it is this tasty, yummy, delicious pack of goo that absorbs into your body really, really well. In fact, 165% better than any tablet, capsule, or pill that you might be taking as a supplement. And so the Calm Mood packet from healthycell.com/chicks includes things like ashwagandha, L-theanine, GABA, 5-HTP, saffron, magnesium, B vitamins, vitamin D, and it really just supports the balance of your happy neurotransmitters, your serotonin, your dopamine, the stuff that makes you feel good. So it's not like the REM sleep that's going to make you like relaxed and want to sleep. This is going to make you just feel good. And I think we can all use a big fat dose of that. Am I right?
Yes.
Am I right? So try it. You can get 20% off of your first order when you go to healthycell.com/chicks and then look for Calm Mood or look for any of their other really, really fantastic supplements that can help in any number of ways, depending on what your particular personal issues are that you want to improve. All right, moving on. The wonderful news, of course, over the weekend was that so many hostages were released by Hamas. So obviously that's great. And especially when you see the videos, which we've got of sweet little Emily Hand, who is the daughter of that Irish man that we've shown on our show quite a number of times, who initially thought that Emily had died, and he was actually relieved because he thought that that would be a better outcome than being a hostage of Hamas. Then it turns out, no, she's alive. And so then he was on like every TV show he could be on in the hopes of getting her returned. And now she's been returned. And so this is great news. However, what has been given up in the ceasefire by Israel is not okay. And so I'm one of these people that don't think a ceasefire was the right call. I think Hamas is just going to regroup and get their ducks in a row again and plan for another attack because they've already promised to do that. And Israel also had to give up lots of prisoners, Palestinian prisoners, in fact, far more prisoners that actually committed crimes against Jews. They had to release those prisoners in exchange for these innocent children, women, hostages. So I don't know that it was a great deal. But nevertheless, it is really, really heartwarming to see the reunion videos. Here's Emily first being greeted by her dad and then also her sister. And it's the sister one that breaks my heart because you can see how wounded she is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this child, I don't even want to think about what she's gone through. She's clearly wounded.
Broken. Yeah. These were so man.
And this is her older sister.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that one just broke my heart. Oh my God. And they had all the dogs in there. I can't even.
Oh my God.
I know. I just wept at that one yesterday. I know. It's somebody, Kathleen asked, why is this televised? I agree. I don't know.
I think people need this. People need to believe and see that there's hope for the people that are still captured. And
I guess.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I hear you, but I know, I get it. But at the same time, I hear what you're saying too, Kathleen. Like, I can't imagine it being like my child. I hear you. Cause I can't imagine what these kids have been through. I know it does humanize them. I get it.
I absolutely have no issue with this being shown at all.
I hear you. It does. I know. And I get that too. But at the same time, it's like, man, God, I just can't imagine what they've been through. And they do have so much healing to do. And like, they'll never be the same. These kids will never, ever be what they were. Ever.
No, they won't. They absolutely won't. And then what made this all even worse somehow is the reaction by not only some political leaders, but by the media as a whole. And one of the examples of that is the Irish Prime Minister, whose tweet about this, you're going to have to forgive my language because my repost of it is included in this. His tweet about this was so amazingly awful. I could not believe it. So here's what he said. This is a day of enormous joy and relief for Emily Hand and her family. An innocent child who was lost has now been found and returned, and we breathe a massive sigh of relief. Our prayers have been answered.
My God.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Lost?
I mean, it's like, so what's the aim here? Like, why are they twisting it? Like, what are they doing? What is it? Are they trying to help themselves, or are they trying to make Hamas look better? Like, what is it? What are they doing? I'm not entirely sure.
Maybe that is what the aim is, because they're trying to appeal to these progressive lunatics who are pro-Palestinian and essentially pro-Hamas.
Or are they just so unbelievably anti-Semitic, like at their very core, that's what we're seeing? Because I really honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to understand it myself. I don't get it. I don't understand what this is. I'm trying to understand what it is.
Well, and this guy, this Leo Varadkar, the Irish Prime Minister, wasn't the only one. It was like Reuters, who was supposed to be neutral, right? Reuters tweet said Hamas releases 13 more Israeli soldiers.
Oh my God.
They're releasing literal toddlers.
Oh my
and
God.
they refer to them as Israeli soldiers?
Like what? And what the hell?
I couldn't believe it. This is just it's unreal. I mean, the media's treatment of this entire story has been so irresponsible on so many levels, and we've got way more examples of that. But these two were just tweets, screenshots that I wanted to show folks because I could not believe my eyes. Like, what in what world are those soldiers? Are those kids?
They're babies.
Soldiers.
They're babies. They're babies, and they're calling them soldiers, right? This is what they're doing. They're getting into people's brains and recreating reality. They're shifting it. They're making people think it's something entirely different. They're manipulating it, you guys. Right before your very eyes, they're manipulating it. It's like we're watching it happen real time. What?
And the word choices matter so much to how people process the stories.
Yeah. It's like as if COVID wasn't, it's like we saw COVID happen as if COVID wasn't bad enough. They're doing it with this. We're watching. So, I mean, we're seeing what the media is capable of. We've seen it. And then we're seeing them do it again.
Yeah.
You cannot trust the media.
You cannot.
Ever. You can't trust them. You can't. Yeah.
Quickly before we get to another round of media ridiculousness, because man, is there ever a lot. Stocking stuffer ideas. If you guys need stocking stuffer ideas,
the absolute best.
Heat Holders is back with us for another season of warmth and coziness. You guys, these are the people that make the amazing socks. Okay, so
they're
this is
so
like
great.
The thinnest socks, but these like super thin socks keep my feet so warm. And there's 2 levels of thickness of socks even beyond that are just. I wear the thickest like as slippers because they're that cozy.
I wear them with my boots on the ranch. I mean, when it gets really cold out here, they're the best, you guys. The absolute. Oh my God, so great. And they have gloves.
And hats and scarves. They've got all kinds of perfect stocking stuffers, and you can save 15% off your whole order when you go to heatholders.com and then use code CHICKS. You can get 15% off of your entire order. They are the best. They are the best stocking stuffers you could ever want. Visit heatholders.com and use code CHICKS. Oh my gosh, we have some more. Thank you, Cindy Patton. Thank you. Cindy says in Florida, daughters and grandchildren, something with a something hip, LOL.
I tried reading it too, and I couldn't understand it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but thank you, Cindy. Leah, there's Leah. Thank you. Leah says, I'm not a fan of the ceasefire deal. It's a bad deal and horrible precedent. If you didn't know, the mastermind of October 7th was released in a deal Israel made 10 years ago, and see how well that worked out. I know. I'm totally with you on this.
It's basically negotiating with terrorists. And I don't think we should ever do that.
And it's basically at the behest of the international community who is forcing the issue. And I'm so mad at us for being included in that, right? For the United States helping to force the issue. This should not have ever happened. I'm grateful that hostages are returned, but this is not the way. Alexandra, thank you. Alexandra says, a godless society is a society that will fall under the spell of the devil's lies always. It is a shame that this is where we're heading. Protect your kids and family. Yes, thank you very, very much for that. Okay, so back to Israel. This is from several days ago, but I saw this video and I thought it might be interesting to folks who may not have seen it. The tunnel system, some of the amenities, for lack of a better word, that the tunnel system beneath that hospital, that of course some members of the British media insisted there's no tunnels under this hospital. What are you talking about? Well, there's absolutely tunnels under the hospital, and the amenities that they have and the preparedness that they have for Hamas terrorists to live in these tunnels for weeks and months on end. It's extraordinary. Here's an inside peek.
Hey, Edward, good afternoon. Today we were with the Israeli military ahead of an expected ceasefire inside Gaza, where battles rage on and the Israelis continued their search for hostages and Hamas infrastructure. Take a look. Right now, we are under Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital complex. These are the tunnels the Israelis say Hamas used to move weapons and fighters. You can see this clay beneath the hospital. This is what Hamas was digging through when they built these tunnels. The dark and damp corridors give you a sense of what it was like for those hostages when they were taken into Gaza on October 7th. You can hear there the Israelis are still conducting new airstrikes against the northern part of the Gaza Strip. It is shaking the ground, but in the tunnels beneath Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital complex, you can see a bathroom. There is a kitchenette. Fighters were meant to stay here for weeks or even months at a time. And the Israelis say this tunnel network is just the tip of the iceberg.
What we're getting now is the network of the tunnels. We got a command and control system room in a tunnel 100 meters from the hospital to the north, underneath the school. It's booby-trapped. We're going to open it. We're going to collect it. We're going to demolish it.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
And then, all the money, I think of all the money that we've given them humanitarian wise, it's used for that. It's used for those freaking tunnels. It's used for all that. And then I think of those sweet little girls that were kept down there.
Oh my God.
Right. That's all I could think about. Like when we were just looking at that, all I could think about were those sweet little girls down there for a month, and all the sweet babies that are still down there.
Yeah. Because there's still plenty of hostages that have not been released.
Right. And how the media is calling them soldiers.
God, it's just insane.
Right.
Absolutely insane. Now, to Leah's point that she made earlier about this ceasefire not being a great deal, Caitlin Collins interviewed Naftali Bennett, former Prime Minister of Israel, about the deal. And you can tell that he is not at all happy about it, but he's very, very diplomatic about responding to Caitlin's questions about it.
Naftali Bennett, Prime Minister, what do you make of this deal? Do you think this is a good deal?
Well, I don't want to voice my personal opinion. I have an opinion, but I don't want to go against or anything that Israel right now is doing. I'm representing the state of Israel. This is the deal. The deal has arrived as a result of very successful Israeli pressure and of activity of the IDF in Gaza. It's put the leaders of Hamas under tremendous pressure and loss. So they felt they have to do the deal in order to buy a few days of respite, and we're going to pay a price for that. But this would not have come about without the actions of the IDF.
It sounds like you are skeptical of this deal. What do you mean when you say pay a price for it?
Well, our opponent has been hit badly. Hamas has been taking massive hits over the past several weeks. And it's at a point of a very tough point. That's a point where you typically don't want to lift them up from the floor and allow him to recuperate but the deal here is providing us, of course, with 50 lives, hopefully. Assuming the deal will be performed as it's promised, and that I would not assume that automatically. We're going to get home children and moms, and it's just heartbreaking. These are families that were in their homes in mourning. They were taken out of their bed and they're kidnapped into Hamas land in Gaza. So Israel has a duty to bring them home.
And of course, the Prime Minister has been facing immense pressure to do so. But tactically speaking, it sounds like you think this is a mistake.
Again, I don't criticize or attack my own government. I'm a citizen of the state of Israel. I'm not in the political scene. And therefore, I support any action my government takes. And
yeah, he thinks it's a mistake.
Yeah, clearly. And it is. Unfortunately, it is. As happy as it is for the hostages to be home, this is going to result in further loss of life and probably more hostages in the long run.
Because they had them like right here. And then they had to let up.
Yeah.
And it's not. And man, that sucks. That just sucks.
And you saw on the screen those numbers that in exchange for the 50 Israeli hostages that were going to be set free, Israel had to release 150 Palestinian prisoners. So not just innocent people, but actual prisoners who had tried to commit crimes against Jewish people simply because they were Jewish. And so this clip from Sky News is utterly shocking. The question, and you'll see it all over Elon Levy's face, the question that this reporter asks is so, I can't, there's no words to describe the level of inappropriate.
Yeah, her name is Kay Burley, and she's an international embarrassment.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And his face is perfect in this.
I was speaking to a hostage negotiator this morning. He made the comparison between the 50 hostages that Hamas has promised to release, as opposed to the 150 prisoners that are Palestinians that Israel has said that it will release. And he made the comparison between the numbers and the fact that does Israel not think that Palestinian lives are valued as highly as Israeli lives?
Oh my God.
I mean,
that is an astonishing accusation.
Yeah.
If we could release one prisoner for every one hostage, we would obviously do that. We're operating in horrific circumstances. We're not choosing to release these prisoners who have blood on their hands. We are talking about people who have been convicted of stabbing and shooting attacks. Notice the question of proportionality doesn't interest Palestinian supporters when they are able to get more of their prisoners out. But really, it is outrageous to suggest that the fact that we are willing to release prisoners who are convicted of terrorism offenses, more of them than we are getting our own innocent children back, somehow suggests that we don't care about Palestinian lives. Really, that's a disgusting accusation.
Yeah, she's a disgusting hag.
Oh my
She's
God.
an anti-Semitic, disgusting hag. And I hope her career ended last week. Sadly, it probably didn't because we know who we're dealing with, right?
I cannot believe that actually came out of her face.
Yeah, I just, somebody should have just said, Jane, you ignorant slut.
Right.
God, I mean, these people.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's remarkable, isn't it?
Well, and it gets worse because the Israel government spokesperson was on, I think this is the BBC. And again, this question, this comparison between the children that were released by Israel, because these were teenagers who actually tried like stabbing people. They are trying to directly compare those criminals to the children of Israel who were taken hostage simply because they were playing and they happened to be the wrong religion. And so he puts a stop to that, rightly so. This is just another embarrassment for the media.
This is for 4 days, and you would agree that today was, given the circumstances, a success. We saw the ceasefire kick in at 7 o'clock, and then we saw the hostages released later in the afternoon. And of course, you have now released 39 Palestinian women and children. So,
can I argue, please? Can I argue? Sorry, I can't let that stand because it's like they release children and we release children. I'm sorry, don't accept that. Here we have a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 9-year-old. How can you compare that with a minor who is 16 or 17 years old, who is involved in a stabbing attack or throwing a petrol bomb or the other acts of violence? You can say women and minors, but to compare that to the Israeli 2-year-old, I think is a bridge too far.
No, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Regev, and there is a 14-year-old who has been released as well. So
what for? What was his charge? What was his charge? Did you look?
I don't know exactly.
Did he stab someone, or did he knife them, or did he just carry explosives for someone else? Once again, you're talking about innocent, young toddlers against teenagers manipulated by different terrorist organizations, but nevertheless involved in violence. That's why they're in jail.
Shameless.
I don't know. I don't know.
Shameless.
I'm a Sky News journalist, and I don't know shit. I don't know shit.
Yeah, Stuart the Brit, explain your media at once.
You've got some explaining to do, Stuart. Quite.
Because what in the world?
God, these people. I mean, where do they get these broads?
I don't know. I do not know.
Good
but the BBC,
Lord.
and it was my mistake. So both of those clips were Sky News, but the BBC just as bad. And in fact, there was an interview with a BBC journalist who got some of the earlier reporting about the hospital explosion. Remember when the hospital was like struck by Israeli missiles or whatever?
Yes.
And it turns out it was just the Islamic terror group like misfiring onto Israel. So one of those reporters who got it so wrong was asked, do you have any regrets about your reporting? And when I say shameless, I mean it. Listen to his answer.
I've got to ask you about the hospital on the 17th of October.
Al-Akhli. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The BBC was criticised heavily for its reporting of that event. Tell us what happened that night and, bluntly, where were you getting your information and do you regret anything that you said that night?
So it broke in, I suppose, mid-evening. And to answer your question, no, I don't regret one thing in my reporting because I think I was measured throughout. I didn't race to judgment.
But you said that building had been flattened.
Oh yeah, well I got that wrong because I was looking at the pictures and what I could see was a square that appeared to be flaming on all sides and there was a sort of a void in the middle and I think it was a picture taken from a drone. And so, we have to piece together what we see. And I thought, well, that looks like the whole building's gone. And that was my conclusion from looking at the pictures, and I was wrong on that.
Oh my God.
But I don't feel particularly bad about that.
I don't
was wrong
feel
about it, but
particularly
whatever.
bad about it. Don't feel bad.
I mean, how do you not feel bad when you get something that wrong when that is your whole entire job?
Because you have no conscience.
Gosh.
You have no morals. You have no ethics. You have no heart.
Just totally shameless. I mean, just unbelievably shameless. Incredible.
Just doesn't care.
Does not care. To close out sort of this montage of videos, this is interesting because it is a queer Iranian Jew who is fed up with a lot of these pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas people. And I thought his message was a good one, even though I don't agree with his queerness or whatever. That isn't the main point of this particular video. This is just some really good, strong stuff.
The same people who claim to speak for brown and queer people are the ones attempting to erase my brown queer perspective because it doesn't fit their narrative. Those who claim to be speaking for people like me have convinced themselves that the same ideology which sees my fellow LGBTQ plus Iranians hung from cranes is the ideology they're supposed to defend. The same people we pleaded with to join us the past year as we desperately fought for freedom in Iran remained silent. And now they are in the streets and on social media in droves, violently demonstrating on behalf of the same ideology that forced my Jewish Iranian family out of Iran. Where are they as genocides unfold in Sudan and Armenia? Where are they when the Uyghurs are placed in concentration camps? Where are they for Yemen, for Afghanistan, Ukraine, Syria, and so many other countries which are facing destruction or actual genocide? If the only time you take to the streets is to stand against the only Jewish country in the world, you're not a freedom fighter, you're not a liberal, you're just a fucking anti-Semite.
That's right.
That's
That's all
right.
you are.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that these days, huh?
Seeing an awful lot. Stuart the Brit, thank you. Stuart says, Mock, you could have washed those socks before you showed them. I'm having dinner here.
They're pretty dirty. They're pretty gross, Mock.
I'm sorry that they have dog hair on them, but they were clean when I put them on this morning.
It's gross, Mock. Gross.
And Leah, thank you. Leah says, by the way, the ceasefire hasn't stopped Lebanon, Yemen, or the PA. We are still in hot water, just not from Hamas only. Yeah, I know. I mean, I just think this ceasefire was a terrible idea all the way around. And I know Israel, the tiny sliver of hope in that entire region,
it's
just has cannons pointing at it from every direction.
Okay, so when is it over?
When is what over?
When is the ceasefire over?
I think today is the last day.
That's what I thought.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know how much ground Hamas will have been able to make up. Who knows? And I don't know if they'll prolong it or extend the ceasefire. Maybe they're negotiating further for more hostages. I have no idea how that's going to turn out. So we shall see. Speaking of just how awful the media is, it is also awful in Canada. So you guys probably heard, and I don't remember which day that we were off this happened on, but there was that car explosion at the Niagara Falls border with Canada, and immediate reports were like, oh my God, a car bomb went off. And yeah, it was terrorist activity. There were Fox was one of the places that initially reported that it was a potential terrorist attack. And a lot of media ran with that, right? Including media in Canada. And so because a lot of the politicians are relying on reports from the media, Pierre Poilievre said on the floor in the House of Commons, he said there are media reports suggesting that this was an act of terror because that's what they knew at the time. And then amazingly, some idiot reporter from one of those same stations that reported that is trying to give Pierre grief for saying it when it turned out to not be true. And he's like, are you freaking kidding me? Although he doesn't say those words.
Right.
That's me paraphrasing his absolute smackdown of her right here.
It was responsible for you to call yesterday's explosion by the checkpoint at the Rainbow Bridge terrorism when no U.S. or Canadian officials said that was or authorities said that was the case, and when the New York governor also said there was no evidence to suggest terrorism activity.
Actually, you're wrong. You're a CP? Okay, so CP, by the way, CP, just for everyone's knowledge, did have to make 3 corrections for falsehoods that they put into a single article. I think that might be unprecedented. I'm actually thinking about checking with the Guinness Book of World Records to see if there's ever been a news agency that has had to issue 3 corrections for patent falsehoods that they admit they had been made in one single article, and now you've made yet another falsehood in your question. Where you are wrong is that CTV reported that the government of Canada was presuming that the incident was terrorist. So, yeah, that's what I said in my remarks. You're right. It was a media report.
But it's citing media reports and not...
Which is what I said. In the House, I said there are media reports.
And you think that's a responsible thing to go on, to make that kind of a statement at the time without speaking?
What kind of statement?
Calling something terrorist.
I didn't. I said there were media reports.
Your media.
That's the distinction we're making? Okay.
Oh my God.
No, there's no distinction. What I said, and I was right, was that there were media reports
Oh my God.
of a terror-related event. By your admission, there were media reports of a terror-related event.
So how's that his fault?
And that media report, according to CTV, unless you're questioning their integrity now, came from security officials in the Trudeau government. So do you think the CTV was irresponsible in putting out that tweet?
Do you think it was a responsible comment to make in the House?
Sorry, I'm asking, I have already answered that. Do you think CTV was irresponsible to put that tweet out?
That's none of my business. That's not for me to comment.
Well, you just did comment. So, I just hope you're not going to print something that you have to apologize for again. Okay.
I swear. This is the thing. So the lesson here is we can't trust the media.
No, and they're saying it. They're telling you it's irresponsible to trust them.
Nobody can trust the media. Ever. Ever, ever, ever.
But
he said media reports. Media reports.
Nothing he said was inaccurate.
Yeah, exactly.
She looked so dumb right there.
They both did. Both of those people. They're oh my God.
God, I hope Canada elects Pierre because they really need him.
I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath for that.
I know. It's true. I know.
Don't hold any breath for that one, Mock.
there is some stuff going on at a train museum in Wisconsin that this museum is claiming is for children. I'll let you guys make that call.
Well, thus far, the Railroads Museum's response has been insufficient. When parents and concerned citizens have contacted the Railroad Museum, they said, well, this is an educational opportunity for kids, which is completely ridiculous, right? I think it's impossible to overstate how offensive this is to Christians. It would be in quite, a literal sense, the same thing as waving a Hamas flag inside of a synagogue. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy that we would allow this to happen. And the really shame of it is, Sean, every year the National Railroad Museum does something very interesting and cool and fun for kids, which is they do a big screening of Polar Express, and you're surrounded by all the trains, and it's a cool, fun thing to take your kids to. But now I wouldn't take my kids to it now. I don't want them to be surrounded by satanic trees. The local reporting has been insufficient. So the whole thing is absurd. And I would say one final thing. Conservatives are often accused of launching a culture war or focusing or fixating on cultural issues. But here is a perfect example of how that's not what's happening. What's happening is we're just trying to defend basic traditions or defend our children in the midst of these basic traditions from the encroachment of woke ideology or offensive, upside-down cultural propaganda. And so the whole thing is a shame. I thought that Northeast Wisconsin was at least immune to something that you might see in New York or California, but we need to be vigilant as parents.
Okay, so just to back up a little bit, the Railroad Museum, they have like this whole, everybody can put up a tree. Like you can just go ahead and put up they have all this, like all the trees are up, right? Anybody that has like an organization can, I don't know if they have to pay or what, but I assume that they do because they have to give money to the museum and they pay to put up like a tree in there. And so everybody can walk around and look at all the different trees. Well, the Satanic Temple put up a tree, and it's like, the museum's like, well, we can't turn away their tree. And so they have their little tree up, their red satanic tree, which is freaking stupid, but they have their tree up. And so people can go around and they can see the tree or whatever. They have their little plaque up that says it's from the Satanic Temple of wherever they are. And so that was his point, is he's like, it kind of ruins everything because kids are going to walk through, families are going to walk through, and they're going to see this is from the Satanic Temple. And like, what is their point, right? What's their point? Like, why? They're doing it just to be like neener. Right. You know, that's what they're doing. That's what the Satanic Temple is doing. They're like, we're just putting up a tree so we can put up a tree to say that we put up a tree, just to be like neener. That's what they're doing, you guys. That's why all these atheists do it. That's why these Satan people do it. That's why they do it. It's just to piss people off. It's like, that's why I get so irritated at these people. They don't do it for any other reason but for that. Yeah. It's just to be dicks, you know? Yeah.
And that is exactly what they are, for sure.
I hate that about these people. It's like, I know it's like freedom of religion, whatever. It's not a religion. It's not, it's anti-religion is what they are. That's precisely what they are. I just don't like this. And a lot of people will stay away, kind of like what he says, families will stay away from this. Frankly, I would take my daughter and I'd be like, that's Satan, and Jesus is greater than Satan. Jesus will win, honey. I'd show her that tree and I'd be like, that's what these people are doing. I would not keep my kid away. I know he's like, families are going to stay away from this. I would totally take my daughter and I'd be like, that's Satan, honey, trying to like overpower, but Jesus will always win. Always. That's what I would do. But I'm a different kind of parent. So
Stephanie, Mom, thank you. Stephanie says, welcome back, chicks. The weekend was long without you. Hope you both had as lovely a holiday weekend as I did. Heading home to Illinois today from Wisconsin. Cold and snowy here, 21 degrees. Brr. Thank you very much for that. So glad you had a good holiday. Right as I left Tucson, I started to hear or see headlines that there were border crossing records being set at the Tucson border. Like 15,000 folks came over in 1 week's time, which is like an incredible record. And Border Control has now been given very strict orders about how they should manage these migrants. And specifically, I'm talking about how they are to refer to them. Listen to this.
A new CBP memo orders agents do not use he, him, she, or her pronouns until they have more information about or provided by the individual. Here with the reaction is former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. Secretary, I know that this is an issue that Democrats and liberals really care about, and they're earnest in their belief that it's incredibly important, but understanding all that goes on in crossing our border, all that even the migrants that come here illegal go through, is that really where their focus needs to be?
Well, absolutely not. The focus should be actually ending the crisis that's been going now for 35 months. So this is really an insult to Border Patrol agents who are doing their very best to try to apprehend these individuals, in many cases dangerous individuals coming across that border. And to be told by the Biden administration that you now need to be concerned about pronouns. And remember, this is the same administration that said we can't call them illegal aliens anymore or illegal entry into the United States any longer, even though those are terms defined by U.S. law. They seem more concerned about making sure that we characterize and describe what's going on that border versus actually trying to stop it. That's what these Border Patrol agents want to do. They want to stop the invasion. They want to stop this crisis from happening, and the Biden administration doesn't appear to be interested in that.
Do you think the border control agents?
I am so excited.
Sorry. Do you think the border control agents really are going to do this, though? You think that they hear this stuff and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm totally going to go out there and really care about calling people by their correct pronouns? I mean, you know that they're looking at this administration and they're like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm not doing this. Like, my job sucks so hard right now. Like, I'm already in a world of hurt. I'm not going to give two craps about whether or not I'm calling these people by the correct pronouns. I mean,
Right?
it's like,
It's so
no,
dumb.
the answer is no. I'm not doing this. Yeah.
Well, and presuming that a lot of them are coming from Central America, South America, and they speak Spanish, which is a gendered language.
Right.
This is literally the dumbest thing to be concerned about ever.
It's so stupid. It's just everything.
So stupid.
Everything about this administration is beyond stupid.
Yep. You've probably heard and you saw a little taste of that video that we're going to play next. There's a whole bunch of progressive weirdos, lunatics on the left who have decided that now seems like a really great time to convert to Islam. So this is happening all over with the Gen Zers who are just totally brain dead and who think that Hamas is just something to support. So these people are now picking up the Quran and getting all into it like this weirdo is.
I just started reading the Quran and I am so excited about it. People thought when I first asked that I just wanted to read it out of curiosity, but I want to read it to study it. I started following somebody on social media that teaches the Quran and hosts a Quran book club for Muslims and non-Muslims, so I'm really excited to start going to that. She was describing the chapter of the bee and that just blew my mind. Like, the way that she describes things and the way that the Quran describes things actually makes sense to me. And also, did you know that Allah is beyond gender? Did you know that actually scholars believe that there are two Qurans, the Quran of nature and the Quran, the actual book? And did you know that each chapter is named after a natural phenomenon? I don't know. This whole book is just blowing my mind and I am so excited.
Oh my
I got
God.
sticky notes so that I could mark out things that I was drawn to. And I'm not even through the first chapter and I already have a bunch of sticky notes. I'm definitely going to have to buy more tabs. I'm honestly having a whole revolution with myself where the way that I describe the universe and the things that I believe in are actually described in the Quran of believing in Allah. And I've never thought that I believed in God before, and now I'm really having a revolution of self of I think I actually believe in God. If you've been curious, I really recommend it. There are a lot of people who are converting. There's a lot of people who are reading it. I'm not saying I'm going to convert. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. And I don't know. I know that this is exactly what I need right now. I just wanted to say thank you and just point out how excited I am.
You know what? The best way for this individual to really understand it is to study abroad. And we should
recommend the West Bank.
Right. Totally. That's what we recommend. We should crowdfund.
And
Totally.
what is that guy like? Again, what to me, if you're gonna have makeup and a mustache and long hair and you know what I mean, and try to just gender bend all over the place, what is the point of that? Except to say, I need all the attention.
Again,
Give it
not
to
committing.
me.
Not committing fully. Again, this is
So
what was the name? What was the name of that person?
Orion.
Orion. This is Orion. We come full circle. This is what's happening with this individual. But really, I mean, I feel like the only way to know fully if she is wanting to convert is to go there and study abroad. Go. I dare you. I double dog dare you.
Yes. Get hands-on teaching from an actual Muslim, a Palestinian Muslim even.
Uh-huh. See how well they embrace you and all your freakiness.
Before we get to the good, to Daisy's double D's is how someone emailed and asked if we could begin referring to this, because Daisy's delicious dollop of daily delights.
Deliciousness, yes.
Before we get to that, I have to share with you, if you have not seen this, because it was going around social media like crazy over the weekend, this is the most cringe arrest that has ever happened in the history of arrests. You will see why if you haven't seen this already.
There was nobody. I was just sitting on my towel. Nobody was around me.
Okay, and you were over at the beach?
Like I was near the water.
Near the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I do? What did I do?
So apparently you were masturbating on the beach.
Who saw that?
I mean, a couple people.
No, they didn't. That's not true.
Why would they call us
Nobody
that?
was around. Was it an anonymous call? Is this one of my buddies? Okay,
No,
one of my buddies.
No, it's not one of your buddies. It's a family.
Okay, look, let me show you what I did. Okay.
Is there anything in the bag?
No.
Is it right if I look through it? I mean, if you can open it and...
Oh my God.
Yes. I don't really understand what y'all.
We're just here because someone called and we're very concerned. Okay.
This is really highly offensive to me.
I got it. I got you. And that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
It's my vibrator, but I just put it in my. I was sitting on the beach, and I just. Okay. Do I get a ticket?
So, you did have a vibrator.
Listen, I was sitting on the water like this, and I just put it in there, and it was covered up, and I just had an orgasm. I'm sorry, I was stressed out. Is that it?
Okay.
Oh
hang
my
tight for me.
God.
I'm sorry, nobody saw me. I was in the water. Okay, so if this is anonymous,
Oh my God.
I mean, if nobody saw them, they wouldn't have called, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Please, don't do this to me. Are you serious?
A family saw it. They had kids.
What? There was nobody around me.
So.
Anyway, that happened.
Okay, so let this be a lesson. Handle that at home. Okay?
Why do you have to do that on
Can
the
you
beach?
just handle that at home? Somebody said, Andrea said, fish are dying.
Oh, and Brian says Daisy's double D's are the breast part of your day.
And you guys, listen, just handle that at home, okay? I don't know why she felt the need to take that out of her house and bring that to the beach. It's not a show and tell, lady, okay?
No, there's just
this is not a show and
and
tell.
as much as she's obviously in the wrong, I do feel this much bad for her because I
knew it.
Here's why. Because I just think about all the criminals that actually don't get arrested.
Right.
And something like that is going to get 2+ cops to the
All
scene.
right.
You know what I mean?
Listen, I hear you. I totally hear you. Like, meanwhile, there's a guy that you like is running a stop sign right now. He's like
stabbing someone or burning down a freaking store
or
like
raping
they did all
somebody
during the summer of 2020.
I hear you. I'm right there with you. And that woman,
that's my only point.
I hear you. And that woman was just stressed out, and she just wanted
was stressed out. You guys.
She just wanted to pleasure herself on the beach. Come on, man.
I mean, I think she tried really hard to be discreet about
She tried. She was just sitting there.
She just was really stressed out
there. Just let that be a lesson to you, okay?
Yeah, don't do that in public, you guys. Really. That's Alexandra, thank you. She says she literally effed herself and found out.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Listen,
so that
some
happened.
some people caught the come on, man. I'm glad that you did. Come on, man. Okay. All right. So is it
All right,
time?
so now
Is it time for the double dollop? The double dollop of
Double
delicious
D's.
daisiness, double D's. Okay. I feel like it's Monday, and it was really hard for me to get up this morning because I slept in a little bit last week, you know, And so we all need a pep talk on a Monday morning. I think everybody could use a good pep talk. And this is the best pep talk that I have ever seen, ever. Are you guys ready?
Down
Here we
1
go.
point. Okay? Okay. You go out there and you score. You shoot. Put everything in there, okay? Everything. You ready? You ready? Yes. Yes. Say yes, coach. Okay, now go score. Scoop.
Here it is. Oh my God, I just love him. I loved everything about him. Did you see how like so into it? He's like, yes, coach.
Yes, coach. That
He's
is
probably
awesome.
not over like a year and a half old. God, I love him.
So cute. Oh my
Are
God.
you ready to take on your day? Are you ready? Say yes, Coach Daisy.
All right. That means it is time for some My Pillow Talks. And you guys, today and tomorrow, free shipping at mypillow.com/chicks. But it's only today and tomorrow. Okay. So don't skip it. If you've been waiting for some reason to stock up on your My Pillow stuff, don't wait. You got to do it today or tomorrow. Take advantage of the free shipping with code CHICKS. Use code CHICKS. That'll get you the free shipping on whatever you're getting. And they've got huge sales right now. 50% off the My Pillow 2.0, 50% off of their towel sets, 50% off of the mattress toppers. The slippers are seriously reduced in price. You can get bathrobes, pet beds, the travel pillows. You can get sheets, obviously. You can get all the things at mypillow.com/chicks. Do it today or tomorrow, okay? Because then you'll get free shipping. Why would you not want that? You do want that. So mypillow.com/chicks, okay? Now let's do some talks, and I've got some good ones for you today, like this one.
Hot girls on TikTok, what are we wearing to run errands these days?
Yes. That's exactly what we're wearing. Exactly. Totally. That's me heading out the door.
Hot girls on
Yeah. Who are these hot girls on TikTok? Who are they?
Why does anybody get dressed up to run errands?
I know. What is that?
What is even happening?
Go to the Family Dollar down the street. Seriously. I'm Cindy Crawford wearing that outfit. Are you serious? Hello.
Do you guys remember the guy, Tucker Comedy, who did that whole thing about inviting somebody over that was going to pet sit? And like they had a dog that was literally on death's door and saying all the things wrong with his dog. There's a part 2 now. There's a part 2, and it's every bit as awesome as part 1. Check this out.
Hey, perfect timing. Spot just finished throwing up. Come on in. Just watch where you step. His teeth are falling out everywhere and they're sharp, okay? All of his medicine is right underneath here. He takes 65 pills in the morning, 85 at night. We feed him every night at 6 p.m. And just be ready because at 6:05 he will have explosive diarrhea. He does sometimes suffocate himself while eating, but you'll be able to hear it from a mile away. He usually goes... He is the cutest. We call him Mr. Potato Head because any of his limbs can come off at any point. His favorite bone is in here. It is actually his own femur. You are more than welcome to take him to the dog park. If you think he'll be more than like 20 minutes, I'd bring his oxygen tank with you just in case. Every night around 8 p.m. he goes into a coma. So in the morning, just give him a big shove. That should wake him up. If not, I'll show you where the paddles are to restart his heart. He does have a tendency to chew off his first layer of skin. So if you look away and look back and he's suddenly all flesh, that's normal. You're good. I usually keep the windows closed just because a gust of wind can snap him in half. But if you want to open the windows, feel free. I'll show you how to sew him back together. He does have trouble with stairs lately. So if you could just carry him up, that would be great. And he usually just hurls his body down the stairs. So you're fine there. He's such an old man. He just turned 80 last week. And that's actually in human years. So in dog years, he's about 506. We actually tried putting him down 2 years ago, and the injection just didn't work. So he's still alive and well. Don't worry. Okay, I think that's everything. I'll see you in a few days. And I'll see you in heaven. Yes, I will. He's going to die before I'm back, but that's fine.
Oh my God. I
love that guy so much. So he does all these different like series, right? So that's a series, and he's got other series, and there's a new one where he imitates school nurses who are always so just like nonplussed and unimpressed with any ailment that you might show up with as a student. They just think you're trying to get out of class. So here he is as a school nurse.
Oh, yeah, that's a clean break. Okay, yeah, I can see the bone. Do you want to lie down for 5 minutes? Were you actually stabbed, or do you just not want to be in third period? Okay, fine. Clean up that blood, go lay down. Allergic reaction, ice pack, go lay down. Asthma attack, ice pack, go lay down. Traumatic brain injury, okay, just go lay down. No, this is for me, I'm hot. We need more beds. Kid whose heart stopped, stand up, go back to class. Do you have a pulse now? Then go back to class. Hold on 1 sec. What? I'm not doing mouth to mouth, if that's what you mean by okay, so either take a Band-Aid or go. Tummy ache? Tummy ache? Do you hear yourself? Go back to class. Okay, 105. I'll let you sniff this bottle of Tylenol. You can't take one, though. Your vision's blurry. How many fingers am I holding up? Close enough. Back to class. If you don't stop crying, I can't help you, okay? Now, where did your severed arm go? Well, then go and get it. Come on, grab a hall pass, go and get it. I'm on lunch, come back later. Well, then keep doing CPR until lunch is over. Golly.
We actually need more school nurses like him.
Oh my God.
I love that. I totally love him.
I know I've shown some videos before of girls who have like just unbelievable hair, right?
Yes.
And then
Oh my
the
God.
second girl like having 4 strands of hair. This is another one of those. And it just absolutely, it just set me. Watch.
This is one braid. This is one half of my hair.
Oh my God.
There's a
That's me. That would be me, you guys. Like maybe in 10, that's 10 years of growth. 10 years.
Oh my God. I just love that so much. Okay, 2 more because we have to show. There was a guy that got an Uber, and he gets in the Uber and he realizes that his driver has Tourette's, but that's okay because he also has Tourette's, and they both are just so happy to find each other. And I just love this so much.
okay today?
I am.
Well, that's really fucking great.
Ah! Oh my God, do you have Tourette's too?
Oh my God. Do you have Tourette's?
Yes.
Oh God.
Please.
Please.
But I don't have ticks.
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Meow.
I'm a cat. I respond to meows with quiet meow.
Oh, Mrs. Claus.
No.
No.
No. Just fingernails.
Oh my God.
They're such good sports.
God, I'm so glad you have such a great attitude about it.
I just think the life is too short to take seriously.
Yes. Yes.
This is me. You have a great day, ma'am.
You too. I love it. Okay,
oh my God, that's fantastic.
I mean, what are the chances, right?
That's fantastic.
I love that so much. And then lastly, a clip from the You Should Know podcast, which you know is my favorite. These 2 dudes are so ridiculous, but the way that they get each other into stitches always cracks me up. And so now they're arguing about whether or not fish are animals. Here they are.
You okay today?
Whoops,
I am.
What's the animal in this world that you fear the least? Fish. Animal. Fish. Don't start. Don't. You're starting, and I'm not.
A fish is an animal.
No, it's not. I'm talking about an animal. Like
Fish. Fish.
That's like saying like an ant. That's not an animal. Fish aren't animals. That's a sea creature.
A fish is an animal.
You can't go to the zoo and see a fish. They don't have zoo fishes.
There's actually so many fishes.
There's fish zoos? You can go to a fish zoo.
No, there's so many fish that they have their own fucking attraction called an aquarium.
That's different. That's like sharks and shit.
Oh my
That's
God.
why they have different names. I'm talking about an animal like a monkey, zebra. That's like saying a mammal. You just ended yourself. If you would have said mammal, I would have gave you different answer. You said animal. That's not a fish. Fish is an animal. No, fish. Something with paws is an animal, dog, and fur. Is a lizard an animal? No. It's an insect. What's a reptile? What are reptiles? So reptile. What's a human? So are we animals? Are we animals? Because we're humans. Mammal. Exactly. It's a mammal. It's not an animal. Which is an animal. So we're animals. Animal. Listen, you said humans are mammals, right? I can't. Listen. I can't. Listen to my explanation. Just get into my brain for a second. I don't want to get in your brain. That is a sick, lonely, cold, slimy place. Right? We're not an animal. You are. I'm an animal? I won. Comments. I won. Explain it. You explain it. Well, how am I an animal? You asked me. Yeah. What animal am I least afraid of? You called me an animal. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. You just said I'm an animal. You brought human beings into it. Why are you screaming at me? Because your stupidity. Fish. I'm talking about animals. I don't care. Animals. I'm talking about cars. It's not a Mitsubishi. Okay, it's car. What is the definition of fish? What is it? Aquatic. Aquatic what? Aquatic what? Aquatic creatures. Animal. You're saying you're the same as a leopard. You're not a leopard. You're a white man from Dallas. You're not a leopard. I'm trying to tell you something.
I will never understand. I will never understand why you love those guys.
Oh my God, I love them so much.
I don't understand. I don't understand it. Like I don't. Whenever you have a podcast that has or any sort of clip that has watched to the end, you know that like I have to be instructed to watch to the end, which means that they have people they're like, I'm out in the middle because they can't take them. I'm one of those people. I'm in the middle and I'm like, I can't. I'm out. I don't know about you guys, but I can't. I think
I bond with my son about them because like he's always showing me I introduced him to them and now he is obsessed and he watches their whole show.
I'm out.
And then he shows me clips now.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think we're half and half in the comments, but I'm with them. I'm just like, I can take about 20 seconds and I'm like, I'm out. You guys,
I love them so much. I just love how exasperated the one dude gets with the other. I just love him.
Like
I love them
so dumb.
So dumb.
I can't handle the stupidity. I can't. Maybe it's a guy thing, but I love guys. I mean, I love guys, but I just can't handle the stupidity of that one. I can't.
I love them. Anyway, those were your talks for today.
Those are great talks. You want me to get Astrid? I'm going to get Astrid. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll embiggen. I will embiggen so that we can make sure to see all the flaps because we definitely need flaps today.
Guys, she was waiting at the door. She was waiting at the door.
It's been so long since she's been able to do this.
Flap. You got to flap. You got to flap. Oh my God. You got to flap. Oh. She flapped a little.
It was like a half flap.
She was a hap. Oh my God. She was so waiting at the door. She never does that. You're so happy to be here.
Kiss her again.
Okay, hold on. I got to grab it. Don't hurt my face. Oh, that was a big one. My goodness.
That was a good one.
So waiting. Now she's going to dig to China. She's so happy to see you guys today. She's like, I've been waiting all week to see everybody, right? You're so happy. What a good girl. What a good girl.
I would show Ella, but she moved. I don't know where she's
Such
sleeping now.
A good girl. I know. Just waiting for your close up. Okay. Well, you guys, everybody have a fantastic Monday and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, guys.